Continue with the latest out of D.C. DOGE claiming $55 billion in government savings so far. Elon Musk's Government Efficiency Commission uploading a list of everything that is cut from the federal budget to its website. Our very own Rick Newman has, of course, been combing through this, analyzing these records. What can you tell us? Where are we saving?
Well, the records that are there don't add up to $55 billion. And I mean, I'm not slagging the DOGE Commission on that. I mean, they only started putting these records up this week. I guess it's good they're putting some records up, but for anybody who hasn't yet had the time to go through all these records yet on their own. So what they're doing is most of the savings that they're putting on this website are contracts at various federal agencies that they say they have either renegotiated or just canceled outright. So when I looked yesterday, I downloaded everything from the site. There were about 1,100 records there under contracts. There's another category called real estate. That's a lot smaller. There are far fewer entries there. So if you just add up all the savings they are claiming from everything they've posted on that site so far, it's about $8.5 billion, not $55 billion. So I can't prove that there aren't $55 billion in savings. Maybe there are, and they just haven't posted it yet. But there's this huge gap, and there are also some irregularities, like the New York Times found one example. I found some others where you look at the amount of savings they're claiming, and then you click on the document that they're directing you to, and the total contract value is less than the amount that they say they're saving. So they're not explaining any of this. That, you know, this is completely unaudited. So I have no idea if any of this is valid or legitimate. I'm just saying what they are showing on their website.
So we don't have the data to back up that $55 billion claim. The data doesn't paint that picture.
So there's data for 8.5 billion of the 55 billion. So is the paperwork coming for the other, whatever the number is, 47 billion? I don't know, maybe, maybe not. I mean, another oddity of this is they're not telling us a time frame. $55 billion this month, or it could, I think more likely, it's whatever the number is, it's over years, because when you renegotiate a contract, I mean, these contracts aren't just this month. These are 3-year contracts, 5-year contracts. So it seems like they are renegotiating payments that haven't even happened yet, and they could be counting that as savings. I mean, I don't want to just dismiss the whole effort. I mean, there is, without a doubt, there's bloat in the federal government, and they're going after it. But the method to the madness is not yet apparent. Put it that way.
Rick, there's also the legal side of it too, the challenges that are also playing out for some of the cost-cutting measures and spending cuts that they do want to enact. So of course that also then begs the question about how realistic some of these plans even are.
Nobody knows. Yeah. I mean, this is a gigantic experiment in how we run the country. So everything I was just talking about, all these things that are listed on the DOGE website, none of that includes personnel. And we know from the headlines, they're trying to get rid of thousands, literally, probably hundreds of thousands of federal workers. There are, I think, 3 million. I think the federal workforce is about 3 million people, not including the military. And they so far seem to be going after a couple 100,000. Just to put this in context, I'm sure there's a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse here, but this is not where the big money is. The federal workforce, I think it's like 1.5% of total federal expenditures. All the big money is in Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, veterans benefits, and defense spending. So the idea that, Henrietta, I loved Henrietta Treis's segment just before I came on, by the way. She's basically saying, you're seeing little savings over here, but they're massively inflating the deficit and the national debt over here, and she's dead right. So, I think they want the attention to be on the small savings they're getting over here, because of the other part of the deficit is just ballooning.
And to your point, those Medicare cuts that are expected to come in the reconciliation bill, I doubt will be popular with voters.
Trump said this week he said he's not going to cut Medicare, Medicaid, or Social Security benefits.
Right.
Now they are going into they're clearly going into these programs and looking if they can cut overhead.
Right.
So the contracts show so far, I think they're claiming $200 million in savings at the Social Security Administration. So I don't, I get, what is that? Subscriptions to the Wall Street Journal and stuff like that. I mean, okay, fine. So they're not reading the news at the Social Security Administration. Voters obviously want to know their checks are going to keep arriving. And Trump obviously has to be careful that he doesn't interfere with the functioning of that part of the government.
All right, Rick, we got to leave it there. Thank you so much for
You don't want to do
joining us.
DOGE all
Always
day?
appreciate it. We're going to do it on our show
We certainly
later.
could.
Oh, yeah,
tease ahead. Capital gains.
DOGE
We'll find
all
out a
day.
lot more about it.
we will be talking about DOGE and more later today. Rick,
See you
thank
guys.
you as always.